Everybody, I guess we haven't had a cocktail yet. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
That's more better. I want to welcome everybody to our second annual Flag Day ceremony hosted by the DeKalb Elks and our Veterans Memorial. My name is Michael Embry, and I will be your host this evening. We'd like to bring to the podium Christine Montero, who will be singing the Star Spangled Banner. Please stand, remove your hats over your heart if you can, and join with us.
Yes, please sing along. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated.
I'm going to play ball.
Before we start our official ceremony, I'd like to acknowledge some people in attendance today. We do have our city manager, Mr. Bill Nicholas, is here. Thank you, Bill. He's over there. Thank you for coming. And we have our mayor, Mr. Colin Barnes, over here, Army veteran. It is always interesting when you're talking to the Army guys. They don't think this is Flag Day because this is the birthday of the Army, so they think this is our birthday. And they don't forget it. So who else do we have in the audience here? We have one of our national officers, Mr. Klatt, back there. Ryan, thank you for coming. And let's see who else. We have some other people. A couple of people I'd like to really acknowledge. First, Libby is here. Libby Rye from the Michael's store, and she has, for us veterans and veteran families, she has 10% coupons. So if you need to do some crafting and some other things, you can do it. Do you have anything to say, Libby? No, she's kind of quiet. But thank you for coming out, and thank you for sponsoring. And by the way, if you are a veteran, you are entitled to a discount over at Michael's, so we want to appreciate that. Another group of people that are here tonight is the Daughters of the American Revolution, Don Wexel and Donna. Where's Donna? Willett, Donna, and they're passing out some brochures and information about Flag Day and how important it is. You can't find an organization any more dedicated to our veterans than the Daughters of the American Revolution. I was not aware of what they did until last year, and I had a chance to go over and meet with the organization. Very supportive of veteran projects. They're also, wait a minute, there's our flyover. Colin, that's for you. Those damn Air Force people, they just crack me up all the time. One of the other projects that I am very supportive of with the Daughters of the American Revolution is their holiday wreaths for veterans. And it's always the second Saturday in December. And very impressive for what they do. They're working in several cemeteries in the area. But has anybody ever been to Washington, D.C. to see the National Cemetery? Somebody been there? If you haven't, you really need to go. And if you've been there, you need to go again. At Christmas time, they put 400,000 wreaths, one on every grave at Arlington National Cemetery. That's extremely impressive for an organization to do that undertaking. Another group we have here today, and I'm really proud of this group. This is the Women's Auxiliary from the American Legion. And they're sitting over here in the white shirts. They're not trying to pick up people to be the one. They're saying, we're really cool, we're cute, be the one. And basically, Be the One is a new national campaign by the American Legion to make sure we understand or are aware of the suicide rate of veterans today, at 22 every day. So they have some information. With you got some information with you. They have pins and there's numbers. And the sad part for us veterans to understand, most veterans, when they have these problems, they don't communicate. They choose not to talk about it until it's too late. So if you know a veteran that's having a problem, please become more aware and call a service. You can either call the VA, call our American Legion, or there's a special number for Be the One. So we also have here a good group of people. I think probably the hardiest party people of all our veteran organization is the AMVETs. They seem to, the only way to get the members to come is to have a party. So I think that's a great idea to keep that going. Commander Bob McCall and all the ladies auxiliary there, thank you guys for coming out. The other people we're going to talk about is our Scout organization, and we'll be talking a little bit more about them a little bit later. But I don't know if you've seen the flags downtown for Flag Day. Have you seen the flags all over our community for Memorial Day, Veterans Day, 4th of July, and Flag Day? All right, so let's give the Boy Scouts a nice round of applause. They're a hardworking group here in our community. At this time, I'd like to bring to the podium our Elks Exalted Ruler, James Brantley, who will introduce team members and officers. And by the way, this is our second annual Flag Day program here at this memorial. So we really thank the Elks organization.
Well, I'm glad I got to go stand in the shade. My head was getting a little hot. I'd like to introduce some of my officers. Leading Knight, Greg Perkins. Loyal Knight, Cindy Slinkard. I don't think she could make it tonight. My wife, Lecturing Knight, Donna Brantley. Secretary, Robin Franklin. Trustees, Rich Bailey. Treasurer, Ed Pavanka. Esquire, Candace Stovall Teo. Tyler, Richard Colleen. Chaplain, Dave Rapp. And Inner Guard, Joe Cook. We got a great team, and we're going to do good this year. So I was supposed to say something about the meaning of what Flag Day is to the Elks. For over 110 years, the Elks have been pushing Flag Day. Actually, we started Flag Day. So I found a couple paragraphs here I think that really mean something. It meant something to me. As this emblem is first in our hearts as loyal Americans, so is close to our altar as loyal Elks. The gentle breezes and lingering caress kiss the folds of no flag which can compare with it in beauty. There is no such red and budding rose in falling leaf or sparkling wine. No such white in April blossom, in crescent moon or mountain snow. No such blue in a woman's eye, in ocean's depth and heaven's dome. And no such pageantry of clustering stars and streaming light in all the spectrum of the sea and sky. Our flag is at once a history, a declaration, and a prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth. It speaks for what it is today, and it holds the opportunity for the future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The benevolent and protective Order of the Elks is the first and only fraternal body to require formal observance of Flag Day. In July of 1908, the Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, then assembled, provided for the annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June of each year by making it mandatory upon each local lodge of the order. This unique distinction as the strongest promoter of Flag Day is the most becoming to the Order of the Elks. This order is distinctively American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it, and it has no foreign affiliations. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country and has made this flag its symbol and self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow men. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And again, the Elks take a lot of pride in this memorial. And we do have the national commander from the AMVETS over there, Stephen Holt. Stephen, thank you for coming out. Sorry, Dave. You're not forgetting. And we have Andy Sullivan, who's always comes out. I think he's just checking my registration on my car. But our chief of DeKalb County Police.
You brought us a cup.
Yeah, probably. In addition to being Flag Day, we mentioned it is the birthday of the United States Army.
Airborne.
He jumped out of one plane. Now he's airborne. I don't understand how that.
Fly off motorcycle.
That's true. So the importance of Flag Day is much more than just what we do here, and it's so great to see everybody come out. And the one thing I see, a couple young people here, we really need to get back in our schools and teach young people what it's all about. Americanism, patriotism, honoring the flag. We just don't do enough of that. For years, I've been friends with this next person who I first met years ago, but I wanted to go back and tell you one story here. In 2015, I was invited to the American Cemetery in Normandy, France to play taps. And while I was there, I was first of all humbled, but one of the most important things for me is looking out and seeing those 9,000 graves and how the French people honored our veterans somewhat more than we do here in this country. So when I came back in 2016, I came to the Elks. I said, I think this would be a perfect spot. At the time, they weren't ready. They were dealing with some things. They said no. So 2017, I went to the American Legion, said, we'd like to build something. They said, no, we don't want to do that. So it came back in 2019, and I put this schematic together, what you see behind me, and the Elks were all over it. Jamie Cochran and the whole Elk organization said, we want this here. And it's part of our pride. It's part of what we've done. And 2023, we became the state of Illinois and the National Veteran City of the Year. For a little town of less than 40,000, I think that's a pretty nice honor for us to have. So, our guest speaker and I have been friends for years. He actually he was an Air Force musician. I'm sorry, airborne. He was an Air Force musician for 23 years and retired. But more importantly, he and I networked about playing taps. He is the premier taps person in the United States, has written books, has played all over the country, started an organization which I'm proud to be a member of called Taps for Veterans. And our goal is to make sure that every veteran who passes away has a live bugler at their service. So when I realized this day was coming and how important this day was, and people didn't really want to hear me talk much anymore anyway, I decided to give him a call. And I said, Javier, would you like to come out and tell the people about what Flag Day is all about from your perspective? He was executive director after retirement of the Taps for Veterans. Last October, he became the national director for the Doughboy Foundation in Washington, D.C. And we here in DeKalb are very proud. We just put in a new sign over there honoring World War I. And for those of you, is anybody in the group over 40? No, nobody's over 40. DeKalb, Illinois was very instrumental in the war effort in World War I. We had over 2,000 young men and women from DeKalb County went into the service in World War I. And you can imagine back in 1917, that's a lot of young people coming out of DeKalb County. Sadly enough, we lost 64 of them. But the one thing that was important, that when these young men and women went overseas and saw Paris and saw the other part of the world, these little farm boys and girls from I promised you a flyover and a drive-by, so that's the drive-by. After World War I, sadly enough, a lot of these young men did not want to go back to the farm. They'd seen Paris, they'd seen the real world. I mean, little young men and women from Waterman and Genoa and Kirkland. Well, the U.S. government realized that we needed these young people back on the farm, and so they offered a grant for any young man or woman that would go back to the farm. Their dads, their family would get a grant. And so these fathers says, you're coming back to the farm, we need this money. So World War I is an interesting time. So Javier, are you ready to come up here? I'll let him try to talk over the train. So from Washington, D.C., Executive Director of the Doughboy Foundation.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you to everyone who's here. Mr. Mayor, Chief, our great representatives of the DAR and all veteran organizations. I'm really glad to be here today talking about, of course, Flag Day. You know, it's one of those patriotic days that have few traditions surrounding it. There are no real national parades or picnics or barbecue unless it happens to fall on a weekend. And it falls on a day that we also celebrate the birth of the United States Army, 249 years today. So happy birthday, United States Army. And being in the Air Force, we were happy to take you anywhere you wanted to go. Now, although it's not an official federal holiday, Flag Day is observed widely across the United States, and certainly glad to see that it is observed in ceremonies like this here today. Many towns and cities used to hold an annual Flag Day parade, the largest of which was in Troy, New York, which attracted some 50,000 spectators. Unfortunately, the parade has dwindled over the years and was stopped in 2018. And hopefully it will return. The week of June 14th is designated as National Flag Week, during which time American citizens are encouraged to fly the flag at their homes, and all government buildings are expected to display the stars and stripes. Well, how did Flag Day start? According to the National Flag Day Foundation, on June 14, 1885, Bernard J. Segron, a 19-year-old teacher, placed a 10-inch 38-star flag in a bottle on his desk and then assigned essays to his students on the flag and its significance. This observance commemorated Congress's adoption of the Stars and Stripes as the flag of the United States on June 14, 1777. The observance was also the beginning of Segron's long years of fervent and devoted effort to bringing about national recognition and observance of Flag Day. That finally came when President Wilson, on May 30th, 1916, issued a proclamation calling for a nationwide observance of Flag Day. And then in 1949, President Truman signed an act of Congress designating the 14th of June every year as National Flag Day. On June 14th, 2004, the 108th Congress voted unanimously to make that town in Wisconsin the town that originated the flag. Now, what did some famous Americans say about the flag? Well, Abraham Lincoln said, "Standing as I do with my hand upon the staff and under the folds of the American flag, I ask you to stand by me so long as I stand by it." Frederick Douglass said, "If the Star-Spangled Banner floats only over free American citizens in every quarter of the land, and our country has before it a long and glorious career of justice, liberty, and civilization, we are indebted to the unselfish devotion of the noble army." And John Philip Sousa, the great March King, said, "In a dreamy way, I used to think of the old days at Washington when I was leader of the Marine Band, when we played at all public functions, and I could see the stars and stripes flying from the flagstaff in the grounds of the White House just as plainly as if I were back there again. Then I began to think of all the countries I had visited and of the foreign people I had met, of the vast differences between America and the American people and other countries and other peoples. And that flag, ours, became glorified. And to my imagination, it seemed to be the biggest, grandest flag in the world, and I could not get back to it quick enough." In these days, as we strive to move forward toward full justice for every American, we should, on this Flag Day, look to the one symbol, I should say that again, that unites every American, our flag. We honor the flag with certain protocols: the proper display of the flag, the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance, the performance of the Star-Spangled Banner, which was done so beautifully, or the bugle call to the color, and the manner of standing and saluting, which are notated in the United States Code. However, all Americans are not compelled by law to observe any of these protocols. Retired Admiral Bill McRaven is also a SEAL, was the former head of the United States Special Forces Command, wrote, "Honoring the flag does not imply that the public for which it stands is perfect. Far from it, honoring the flag is our collective commitment that we will constantly attempt to get better as a nation, to improve as a people, and to use the freedoms that we have been given to make the earth. Those that believe the flag represents oppression should remember that all Americans who fought to eliminate bigotry, racism, sexism, imperialism, communism, and terrorism fought under that flag. This flag rode with the Buffalo Soldiers of the 9th, 10th, 24th, and 25th Cavalry and Infantry Regiments. This flag was carried by suffragettes down the streets of New York City. This flag flew with the Tuskegee Airmen of World War II. This flag was planted in the fields where Cesar Chavez spoke. This flag marched with Martin Luther King. This flag rocketed into space on the shoulder patches of women, gay, Hispanic, Asian, and African American astronauts. It is a flag for everyone, of every color, of every race, of every creed, and every orientation. But the privilege of living under the flag does not come without cost, nor should it come without respect. The nation and everything it strives for is embodied in the American flag. We strive to be more inclusive. We strive to be more understanding. We strive to fix the problems that plague our society. But in striving to do so, we must have a common bond, some symbol that reminds us of our past struggles and propels us to a brighter, more enlightened future. And that symbol is our flag. The flag waves proudly above the new National World War I Memorial in Washington, D.C., that honors the 4.7 million Americans who served during that war. This new memorial was officially dedicated in April 2021. The memorial is located on Pennsylvania Avenue, just 2 blocks from the White House, and has attracted over 1 million visitors a year since its opening. And in May of 2021, the memorial started a daily taps, a sounding of taps, and to this day, it has been sounded over 1,100 consecutive nights. This has been done with the support of the Doughboy Foundation and Taps for Veterans. It's streamed live on YouTube. If you get a chance to see it, your time it would be 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in Washington. On our YouTube channel, the Doughboy Foundation, and it's the only location in the United States where a live taps is sounded every single day. The memorial will be fully complete this September with the dedication of a new sculpture, A Soldier's Journey. This is a 60-foot bronze freestanding high relief sculpture consisting of 38 individual figures that tells the journey of a single soldier through his leaving home, fighting in battle, being gassed, and then returning home. And what's very poignant about it is that the very last frame is where he hands off his helmet to his daughter with the indication that this is the future. This is the foreshadowing of World War II. After a 23-year career in the United States Air Force Band and 10 years as director of the Military Funeral Honors for the state of Maryland, I'm proud to serve as the executive director of the Doughboy Foundation that will oversee the memorial going forward and make sure TAPS is performed each and every day in perpetuity. And I do sincerely hope that you will make it out to Washington to see this wonderful memorial. You know, now I was thinking, what are the best ways to observe Flag Day? And now we're at 6 o'clock, so it might be a little too late, but some of these ideas we can think about for next year. How to observe Flag Day, things that you can do. And I sat down and boy, I came up with a list of things. Number 1, fly the flag from your home or display the flag on your desk. Attend any ceremonies honoring the flag. Flag raising ceremonies are the best. And of course, we're all here just doing that right now. Dress in red, white, and blue. And I think we have some folks here tonight who have done that. That's really nice. Post an image on your social media page. You can be creative with flags. Recite the Pledge of Allegiance. It's best to gather as a group together and do it. Sing songs that are associated with the flag. You know, George M. Cohan comes to mind. You're a Grand Old Flag. What a great tune. Listen to John Philip Sousa's The Stars and Stripes Forever. If you're a trumpet player, play or sound the bugle call to honor our flag. To the color in the morning, retreat in the afternoon, and taps in the evening. If you're a student, or don't have to just be a student, write a short essay on what the flag means to you. Plan a ceremony to present flags flown over historic locations to Gold Star mothers. Paint or construct your own flag. Be creative. Bake a cake with a flag theme. Patriotic. View all 27 versions of the U.S. flag. Did you know that there are 27 versions of the U.S. flag ever since the beginning of our country? Read the history of the birth of the flag, Betsy Ross. Read about the history of the birth of our national anthem with Francis Scott Key. Read about the history of the adoption of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, as our national anthem, which would be Charles Linthicum, which is my hometown in Maryland. You could also become a vexillologist. What's a vexillologist? You'll have to go look that one up. It's someone who studies and is very into flags. You could visit the Smithsonian and view the flag that flew over Fort McHenry. Visit the Flag House in Baltimore, where Mary Pickersgill sewed the flag that flew over Fort McHenry. Read up on the proper protocol and etiquette for our flag, which is Public Law 94-344. On this day, be great to practice good citizenship, honesty, compassion, respect, responsibility, and courage. And last but not least, on this day, we should also thank a veteran for helping preserve our ability to fly that flag. Yes, they've earned it. So I'd like to thank everyone in this town for inviting me to come today, and I'd like to close with the lyrics to the Stars and Stripes Forever by John Philip Sousa. Sousa added the lyrics after the great success of his march, which was to become eventually the National March of the United States. And no, it's not "Be kind to our web-footed friends, for a duck may be somebody's mother." No, it's actually Sousa wrote some really wonderful words to go with his march. Hurrah for the flag of the free. May it wave as our standard forever, the gem of the land and the sea, the banner of the right. Let despots remember the day when our fathers with mighty endeavor proclaimed as they marched to the fray that by their might and by their right it waves forever. Thank you.
Well, Javier, I only have one correction to that. That's okay. I play taps every night at my house, and my neighbors are really pissed. But it's another whole story. I also forgot one other person here, Frank Berlotzer, who with the 40 and 8 organization. Frank is in the back there. Thank you, Frank and Mrs. Berlotzer, for coming out. And some of you have not seen since we put this up last year. This is our Women's Memorial by Joe and Charlotte Hodder, standing right over there. Put your arm up so we know who you are. So they donated the fountain and the flagpole to honor our women veterans serving our country. A lot of things happen as we work around to make these events happen. At this time, if you've not seen this man around town, you missed it, because he is everywhere. He is the scoutmaster for Troop 33. I get tired sometimes just watching the Facebook posts of what they're doing, where they're going, and how they're doing it. And this gentleman right here, this young man, is my hero, and he has done so many great things. So I'd like to read you a special presentation on behalf of the Veterans Memorial and the Elks. In appreciation to Cliff Golden for your outstanding support of Flag Day, as well as Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Veterans Day in DeKalb. You are an inspiration to young people, admired by our citizens of DeKalb for your leadership, patriotism, and Americanism in honoring the United States of America. June 14th, 2024.
Oh, well, thank you for the honor. It's always a privilege to work with the Scouts and Youth of DeKalb. And as many years as I do it, they just keep getting more and more amazing. So, thank you.
Thanks. Let's give Cliff a nice round of applause. Thank you, sir, for all you do. And by the way, that beautiful fire pit over there was a Eagle Scout project, and they really did an outstanding job. I'd like to put that in my backyard, but I don't think the Elks will let me take it, so it's another story. A lot of what you see here is a lot of work of individual people. I can't take credit for it. Too many people stepped up and did things to make this thing look good on behalf of the citizens of DeKalb and our veteran organizations, as well as the Elks. Could I have Dan Halverson come up here, please? If you've never driven by here at night and seen the lights, you've missed something spectacular. And this man, and I found him and I said, I can't even plug in a toaster. And he said, I'll take care of it for you. So he came out and installed these, and for 5 or 7 days, we played with the lighting and the red, white, and blue. So I'd like to give a special acknowledgement and appreciation to Dan Halverson for your outstanding support of Flag Day, as well as your involvement in keeping the visual image of the DeKalb Veteran Memorial by the assistance and volunteering to make the lighting presentation spectacular for everyone to enjoy. And more, we appreciate what you've done for our Veterans Memorial. Dan, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. This was totally unexpected. But no, I worked with Mike, and we tried to take and do something unique, and I think it really does look great. I have one light I got to replace tomorrow, but you know, I love the way it looks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Another person we'd like to acknowledge, and this is something we don't do enough of in our community. We don't thank people enough. We don't honor them enough for who step out. They say, well, I did it because it was the right thing to do. Mike Tritle, Mike, would you come up here, please? Just leave your camera on. And Mike has been to every ceremony we've had here. He's recorded it, which we now have in history on YouTube. So if you want to see our Memorial Day here, or our Veterans Day, or any of the Elk programs here, Mike has recorded it for us. And he's also helped with the signage, putting up our signs. By the way, the World War I sign over there is great. And you may say, well, it doesn't look right. Well, it's 48 stars, because in 1917, there was only 48 states. There weren't 50. So he put them up wrong, and he and I had to fix it. So it was kind of cool. In appreciation to Mike Tritle for your outstanding support of Flag Day, as well as your involvement in keeping the memory of all our events from the DeKalb Veterans Memorial at the Elk Lodge by you videotaping and recording our presentations and events. These recordings will preserve our history forever. You are appreciated by all that enjoy this mark. Mike Tritle.
I'll tell you what, I've never met a microphone I can't talk to, but tonight I'm having trouble finding words. Thank you very much. This isn't why I do it. I do it because it's the right thing to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Again, it's something that we need to do, and I know the Elks are stepping up and making acknowledgement and honoring people throughout the lodge, as well as our community, our city, and the various veteran organizations. Our last presentation is for our keynote speaker, who flew all the way out from Washington, D.C., and he was just excited to get out of D.C. and all the political BS going on. I'm just kidding, Javier. Javier, you want to come on up here, please, sir? In appreciation, Javier Venezuela, sorry. Your outstanding support of Flag Day, as well as your presentation of the true meaning of Flag Day. You are an inspiration to the citizens of this country by your commitment to the Doughboy Foundation and Taps for Veterans. We admire your patriotism in honoring our veterans and veterans family and the United States of America. June 14th, 2024.
Thank you. Just again, I just want to thank everyone who put on this ceremony, especially to the Elks for providing this great location. And also, I forgot to mention, I was a Boy Scout too, a Boy Scout bugler. So my roots are with you guys, and thank you for everything that you do. And thank you to everyone who've participated in this program, and for everyone who is waving the flag, especially on today. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much, sir. Two quick notes, my notes. We also have a new bench we just installed today. It's the Marine bench by the Bob Unger family. Mr. and Mrs. Unger over here, thank you for donating that for us. And the Mark Satchel family actually built a concrete pad, which has been a godsend for us to have here because we had mulch underneath it and it wasn't very stable. Who else did I miss? Somebody else I was going to think. I can't remember. Oh, Javier, I was not a Boy Scout. I apologize. I was scouting for girls back at that age. I wasn't a Boy Scout. Well, we can't enjoy the holiday any more than this a wonderful... Mark is here. Is Mark here? No, he's not here. Oh, there he is. Mark says, thank you very much for... That's the gentleman who and his family who dug out and put that concrete in. Thank you very, very much. We're really proud of that. Great job, sir. Twice a year, there's a wonderful ensemble in our community. We are blessed with great music and great music people. And the Celebration Chorale at the end of June every year does a concert, a patriotic concert. And it's June 28th and 9th, I think, something like that. 28th, 29th, and 30. You can tell who the leader is. She jumped right on that, didn't you, Christine? Thank you. So I think what a wonderful way to end this presentation is sing God Bless America with a celebration chorale.
Y'all are going to sing with us, though, because the microphone's not great. They're effective.
Ladies and gentlemen, nice round of Celebration Chorale. Don't forget their concerts will be posted all over the news. And it's a free concert. They're willing to take donations. I forgot one person I wanted to, is so much going on tonight, but very briefly, Dawn Wexel, would you want to come up here, please? And she's been very instrumental in getting a lot of things done for DeKalb County and for the DAR.
Thank you. On behalf of the General John Stark chapter of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, I bring greetings to everyone this evening. For those who may not be familiar with the DAR, we are a nonprofit, non-political women's service organization dedicated to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, and securing America's future through better education for children. Membership in the DAR is open to women who are descended from a patriot of the American Revolution. Since its founding in 1890, over 1 million women have joined the DAR. I could speak at length about the many ways that the DAR carries out its mission, but tonight I want to focus on what we do for our veterans. Saying thank you to our veterans can be as simple as saying those two words, but we also thank you through our actions. We actively participate in programs such as Wreaths Across America, where we seek sponsors for wreaths and then lay the wreaths on the graves of veterans to honor their memory and service. As Michael mentioned, Arlington has 400,000 graves, and every holiday, every Christmas holiday, every one of those graves has a wreath. Sadly, the other national cemeteries aren't so lucky. I volunteer at the Rock Island National Cemetery, where there's over 30,000 burials, and we're lucky if we get 3,000 wreaths there. So, I encourage you to support this wonderful program. We engage in grave markings and the maintenance of monuments, ensuring that the sacrifices of our servicemen and women are never forgotten. A few years ago, we were proud to support the restoration of the Soldiers and Sailors Clock in DeKalb. We also support veterans in nursing homes by providing companionship. We celebrate birthdays and holidays with them and purchase supplies to improve their quality of life. We participate in stand-downs and craft plarn mats for the comfort of homeless veterans. We support honor flights financially and with cards and letters for mail call. We serve as guardians and attend welcome home ceremonies. We are also a partner in the 50th anniversary Vietnam War commemoration. The purpose of the commemoration is to thank and honor those who have served during the Vietnam War era, regardless of location. We have also served as volunteers at traveling Vietnam Wall displays, most recently at the display in West Dundee. We involve young people in our efforts to serve veterans. They write letters and color pictures for honor flights. We also have several young people who have interviewed veterans and then wrote and illustrated books that tell the veteran's story. One of our young authors interviewed Fred Foster about his experience in the Field Artillery Unit during the Battle of the Bulge. Her book is in the local library, as well as others. You may have seen us at the Hy-Vee Veterans Day breakfast, where we served as hostesses and distributed thank you cards. These are only a few of the ways that we show our veterans that they are loved and appreciated, and I welcome the opportunity to tell you more about the DAR and all that we do. Our chapter regent, Donna Rolrett, is also here and available to answer questions. Thank you for your support, and thank you to all veterans for your unwavering service. Happy Flag Day. Can I hijack the mic for a minute? Sure. Another way that the DAR honors veterans is by recognizing veterans for what they do and awarding certificates, recognizing their service and dedication. One local veteran was recently recognized as the DAR Outstanding Veteran Volunteer for the state of Illinois. I'm proud to say that that veteran is Michael Embry. Michael was recently honored at our state conference and was presented with an award at that time. And today I received in the mail another certificate. Michael's nomination was forwarded on to our North Central Division, which is a group of 7 states in the Midwest. And his nomination was reviewed and further judged there. And I'm proud to say that Michael has also been named as the Veteran of the Year for the North Central Division.
Thank you, Michael, for all that you do, and we are glad to help whenever we can, and you are an outstanding veteran.
Well, thank you. This is like Mike Tritle said, this is a surprise. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. The one thing about the reefs, very important about the reefs, and I do know that the American Legion Auxiliary we're working on a project where we've got some wreaths we're gonna decorate, and if you would like to put one on a veterans family grave here in DeKalb, you can get a hold of Sarah in this fall, and our goal is to get as many wreaths on our veterans graves here in DeKalb County. So Sarah, thank you and all your group for what you do. And I know James wants to finish up with a couple of comments. And
thank you. In my haste, I forgot a couple team members that do an outstanding job here at the club. Trustee Pam Boardman, Trustee Lynn Cundy, past ER, Trustee Jamie Cochran, past ER, and Mark Klatt, trustee. And on behalf of DeKalb Elks, I want to thank everybody for showing up to this outstanding event. It's really remarkable what we've made of this. It takes a great team to do all this work here. And we got a great team here in DeKalb and DeKalb County. And right now, as ER of DeKalb Elks, I'd like to invite everybody inside for some appetizers. And I think there's cookies, cake, and everything else in there, and possibly a cocktail. So thank you, everyone, for showing up.
Thank you, Elk members and Jamie. And by the way, if you were interested in learning more about becoming an Elk, these wonderful people in those nice sport coat, Joe Cook, I don't know, very nice looking sport coat for you, Joe. He's usually in a golf shirt. But if you see somebody in a sport coat, please ask them about membership information. Thank you very much. God bless you guys. Have a great evening and happy Flag Day.